What's up, ladies and gents, and welcome back to my channel. This is me, Bridget, bringing you all things fashion, beauty, and lifestyle. So today is a lifestyle video because I'm sure you saw in the title, I's married now, yeah. So anyway, yes, I got married to my best friend. I don't know if you guys saw this video right here, the short that I put up with the song by PJ Morton, Found Someone Like You, and it was just perfect. It just fit. And I just want to tell you a little bit about us and my wedding day. Before I get into this video, please subscribe to my channel, like this video, and hit that notification bell so that you can be notified as to when I post a new video. So without further ado, let's get into it. So on April 5th, Saturday to be exact, at 11 a.m., I married this beautiful man right here, the love of my life. We've been knowing each other for over 40 years. I know that's a long time. I was introduced to him by my mother at the age of 15. He was 17 at the time. So you do the math. Anyway, it was just a beautiful day. So yeah, this video is going to be a little different because I'm just going to talk and kind of show you guys pictures as I talk. But anyway, hopefully the next video I'll be able to get him on, and you know, he can give his perspective of the wedding day and what he felt or thought or whatever on that day. But I'm just going to show you guys pictures, you know, as I talk. So my dress, actually I got my dress from Shein, and the cost of this wedding was very minimal, if you will. Let's start with the wedding. We decided to do something very small, very different. At first I wanted a huge wedding, but then as I kept going through the process, it was becoming overwhelming and it was just a lot on me. So my mother was one of 12 kids, 10 girls and 2 boys, and all of those girls had several kids. And so I have a whole lot of cousins, and then those cousins had kids. So I have a really, really big family, whereas my husband is an only child. However, he has aunts and uncles who also had kids, but they don't compare to my huge family. He has a nice sized family, but I have a huge family, and it's a lot of cousins, you know, aunts, uncles. And so the wedding planning starting to become very overwhelming to me and costly, if you will. And so, you know, and in fairness, my husband was like, you know, 125, but I found it kind of hard to leave it at such a low number, especially not including family, but friends and colleagues that I have, you know, who've been around over the years. And so just became a little overwhelming, if I'm very honest. So with that being said, we had already been living together since 2023. We got back together May 14th, 2023, after not seeing each other for over 20 years. And I was like, you know, I really want this big wedding. You know, everyone's happy for us. You know, and the funny thing is, because we did date when I was introduced to him at 15 and he was 17. And, you know, then he went to college. We dated a little bit. He came back, brought me to my senior prom. But then, you know, as life goes on, you know, parted ways. He got into his career. And then I decided to call one day. By that time, he was living in Houston. I was still living in Beaumont, as I've shared before. After my parents divorced, that's where we moved to. And then I just called him up one day out of the blue. And I was like, hey, thinking about moving to Houston. What do you think about that? He said, hey, come on. Stay with me and my mom. So there you go. So I'm giving you bits and pieces of the story because I don't want it to be long and drawn out. So anyway, saw him then, kind of got back together, started dating, and then as such is life, we, you know, lost touch again, and I hadn't seen him in over 20 years. So anyway, he reached out to me on LinkedIn in 2023 in April, and we got back together, started dating again, or it became official May 14th, 2023. So as time went on, you know, we got officially engaged, and then it was like, okay, let's start planning the wedding. And it was like, okay, what do you want to do? And like I said, it was becoming overwhelming for me. And I just had to think. I was like, you know, at this big age, and call me selfish or whatever, but I was just like, I don't want to spend all that money for one day at this age. You know, we got married when I was younger, in my 20s, absolutely no problem. But I just started thinking, and you know, at this age, you know, you kind of want to invest so you can have something nice for when we retire. So we decided on a very small, intimate wedding where it was just he and I, his mother, my dad, and our kids, which you see in this picture right here. My mom transitioned in 2013, so it's the only reason why she was not there. Other than that, she would have been there as well. So that's how the day went. So like I said, it's a very small, intimate wedding. We got married at actually one of my clients, his church, Bishop Roderick Johnson. You see him here marrying us at their church, Destined for Empowerment. And he met my husband when they did their Thanksgiving Day feeding over 3,000 people on Thanksgiving Day. So that was one of the reasons why they hired me. And, you know, I had the media come out. It was such a great event, great day. But anyway, he met my husband. He really liked him. And so when Tim and I were discussing getting married, he was like, hey, do you think the bishop would marry us? And I said, well, let me ask. And he said he would be happy to. So he did. And that's how that went. So I just realized I was telling you guys about my dress. Okay, so my dress I bought from Shein. And I think I paid, I can't remember how much I paid. I'll put it down here at the bottom, but it didn't cost that much. The dress was beautiful. So we purchased our rings from Robbins Brothers. Oh, sorry. You can see the bag from Robbins Brothers. And they came in these beautiful boxes. Robbins Brothers. Now, this is the part that I love. So here's the box that the ring came in. Our rings, both of our rings. You see that light there? That is so cool. So although we went and I picked out the ring and we went shopping for it or whatever, when they handed it to us, it looked so pretty, you know, with the light on the ring. And here's my ring. That's my engagement ring. It is radiant cut. And then that's my band there. And then Babe's ring is gold and it has 5 diamonds going across it, which, believe it or not, between us we have 5 kids. So I think that's about it. I don't regret that we had that small intimate wedding. We're already living together, and then after the wedding we went and ate at this restaurant that we all love. It's called Lucy's. My dad, as you see, walked me down the aisle, and you know, this is us. Like I said, just showing you pictures. His mom, my son, his son, and his 3 girls. And so it was just a beautiful day. Very you know, intimate, very beautiful, and just different. And I was very happy, and I am so happy. So what I want to say in closing is that, you know, your day is your day. And although it was a small wedding, I was still nervous, you know, believe it or not. You know, we didn't have a big wedding, you know, with like 200-300 people there. We didn't have a reception. It was just a quiet, nice, small, intimate wedding. But I was still nervous. But it was good nerves. It's good nerves. I was so happy, and I was so, I don't know, excited. You know, there was some sadness that was there. I know my mom was there in spirit, but it's like because of her, you know, this whole thing is the reason that I met Tim in the first place. And I don't know, it's just a little sad that she wasn't there, but I appreciated that my mother-in-law was there. Love her dearly. She loves me so much. And so, and that's always a great thing. And it was just nice, you know, to have her there helping me with everything. But it was a little sad because, you know, my mother wasn't there. But in the end, you know, it was a great day. I'm not going to get emotional. So that's it. I just wanted to come on here and share with you guys how excited I am. I am married now. My name is officially Bridgette Shalise Waugh, W-A-U-G-H. That is my new last name, and I have been slowly but surely changing it on everything. That's another whole thing, because I was like, geez Louise, you know, driver's license, passport, social security card, bank accounts. I had to change all that stuff. So yes, I changed my last name because that's what I wanted to do. You know, I wanted to have his last name, and I'm so excited about that. But anyway, enjoy the rest of these wedding photos, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.